Hello, hello. Welcome into Lighthouse Tapestry. It's our Wednesday night live for December 10th, 2025. We're racing through this month. Welcome everyone to the channel. We've got a great crew here. Say hello, everyone. Ron, how are you tonight?
Great. How are you guys all doing?
Great. Ruby? Wendy?
Hey, everybody.
Betsy? And Morgan.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. And I'm Sari. We are your crew this evening. Dawn and Denise are our global travelers, so we're giving them a much needed break. So we welcome you into the channel. Welcome as you're joining in. Hello, everyone. And we have a great program for you this evening. First of all, we just wanted to say if you're new to the channel, it doesn't look like anyone new, but for those of you returning champions, thank you again for joining us. And we appreciate your support of the channel. We will be doing, daily videos as we normally do. So check out our daily content and like, subscribe, and share. If you want a card pull tonight, if you can put a heart in the chat, we'll see as many of you as we can this evening. And we're delighted to be with you. So we have a lot of astrology going on tonight, but we are not actually going to focus as much on astrology. So Ruby's going to lead us through an energy clearing combined with a little bit of an update on the astrology. But we're going to talk tonight a little bit about a follow-up that we had to last week's conversation. And this was around channeling. And Betsy was gracious to give us her time on what does channeling mean and the journey of channeling for you. And we're going to expand on that because we've gotten a lot of questions from viewers. Well, what's the difference between channeling, mediumship, and being a psychic? So we're going to have a conversation. We're going to pull some cards for the collective and then pull some cards for all of you. So with that, welcome in and let's get started with our dear Ruby.
Hey, everybody. So today marks one of the most important energetic gateways of our lifetime. Neptune stations direct at 29 degrees Pisces, the final degree of the final sign, closing a 14-year cycle of spiritual awakening, intuition development, and deep soul remembrance. So this is the last time Neptune will complete its Pisces journey for more than 160 years. Over the past 14 years, we have been asked to trust what we cannot see beyond words and to walk by intuition rather than logic. Today, as Neptune turns direct, this veil is going to lift. The fog will dissipate, and what once seemed impossible now feels inevitable. Signs and synchronicities align with clarity, and our inner vision sharpens. We stand at the threshold of spiritual graduation. This ceremony honors that closing chapter and it prepares the field for Neptune's move into Aries in 2026. So that's where inspiration becomes action and spiritual truth becomes embodied leadership. So now I'm going to go ahead and start the clearing ceremony. We can get the picture up there. All right. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a slow breath in. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. Now imagine a soft mist of Pisces blue light surrounding you. Gentle, luminous, reassuring. Visualize the past 14 years as a long ocean. With each wave, see moments of awakening, of lessons learned, intuitive insights, and soul expanding experiences. Whisper or say to yourself, I honor the journey. I honor the wisdom I have earned. Imagine any confusion, illusion, fear, or outdated beliefs dissolving like morning mist under a rising sun. Neptune's waters wash them clean. Say silently or aloud, I release all illusions. I release all outdated roles. I release all energies that no longer serve my highest path. Looking up into the sky, a brilliant starry sky opens. A shimmering Pisces moon pours down silver blue light onto your crown. This is your spiritual graduation moment. Allow intuitive knowing, soul truth, and divine clarity to flow into your field. Breathe it in. A flame of inspiration lights within your heart, symbolizing Neptune's coming shift into Aries. Whisper, I am ready. I embody my spiritual wisdom. My intuition leads. My soul speaks clearly. Ground your energy once more. Offer gratitude for the journey, the clarity, the timing, and the sacred unfolding of your path. Gently open your eyes. This day marks a turning point. Step forward with trust, intuition, and the certainty of your soul's wisdom. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Betsy.
Hi, everybody. Ruby, thank you. That was beautiful. I loved it. I have the opportunity to, you might say, lead us off with a subject matter that we kind of began last week, and we've gotten a lot of people asking questions about it, which is something we love. We love your questions and your interaction, so keep them coming. But we were talking, to be clear, we were talking about channeling, and then we moved into mediumship, and the word psychic came up. And then people were asking, well, what's the difference? Channeling, mediumship, psychic. Can you explain this? And Wendy and I are going to attempt to explain it. As for me and what I would like to share with you, I like to come from my own experience. So if you were to Google, and Wendy's saying yes too, if you were to Google what's the difference, you probably get so many different responses. In all my 40 years of channeling, I can only remember one time actually Googling that. And so what I do remember from that is that, wow, there's a lot of different responses. And so as I share with you mine, if your heart doesn't agree, toss it, because this is a personal experience of the divine moving through you to help you connect with God, whatever you want to call God, source, divine I am, God. We know what you're talking about, and there's not a single word that can describe it. It's that I am. So for me, when I first channeled, I was doing a Reiki, and many of you know that I love Reiki, and many of us here are Reiki masters, as perhaps are you. You know, when you Reiki, it's on the inside, it's very quiet and peaceful. And if you know the symbols, often you're doing the symbols when you're working with someone. Well, it was quiet in the room. I was working with the symbols. I was focusing on what was going on with my client. That is when Orion came into my head. And in my head, not in the room, but in my head, he started talking. And I could hear him, actually hear him. And he said, we have work to do together. We're going to channel. So he used the word channel. And I'd always wanted to, from when I discovered channeling, but I never thought I'd be able to. So if any of you, by the way, are interested in channeling, see me. That's what I do, is I teach people how to channel. Why? Because of my guide, Orion, who lifts your frequency so that you can connect with your own guide for the rest of your life. Now, with channeling, this is my understanding, my belief, what I have experienced is we connect vibrational with a higher guide who can help lift us even higher. But I've said this before, it's so important. Always qualify your guide. Highest, best, most loving, easiest. That's what I suggest. Or if you want, ask for Jesus the Christ or another spiritual master, Mother Mary, Archangel Michael, someone that you trust. So, and love. And you can even ask your guide, do you love me? Do you have my highest good? And you will get either a feeling when you're channeling, you will get a feeling. They use our five senses, sight, taste, touch, feel, and smell to get the yes or no to us. And for me, I will do a feel, no, and sometimes in a seeing, it's opaque, the seeing, but it'll be a feel, no here. It comes in all different ways. So don't be hard on yourself and don't try to be a cookie cutter. Don't make your way my way. But channeling is bringing in higher energy to receive information basically from the divine so that we can become more loving, get our power back, express our divine gifts, remember our purpose, have the courage to follow it, and then help others to take their power back. Basically, that's how I see channeling. Now, psychic is a very interesting word because you are psychic. Does that surprise you? You are. We're all born psychic, but we weren't taught that. We sure weren't. That word is a no-no in many different spiritual cultures. So I just want to say, change the word if you want to. Intuitive. Intuitive means into you see, and it connects with your soul. So it's okay. You are born intuitive. Your mom, and if any of you are moms, you know how connected you are intuitively to your child. So you are psychic. Whether you want to develop that into expressive gifts or not is fine. It's up to you. No right or wrong. And then with mediumship, for me, it's a little bit different. In my experience, once you can channel the divine, you can do mediumship. Why? Because the divine energy does not have a physical body. And those who are in heaven, usually it's people in heaven that we do mediumship for, at this time do not have a physical body. Now, the beings of light that I channel have a light body. And the beings of light in heaven that I do mediumship with have a light body. So it's just when I channel, it's more up here. And when I do mediumship, I feel it go this way, a different location, you might say. And I love seeing Wendy go, I can't hear what you have to say. So for me, now remember, this is my experience. My experience is if you can be a channel, you can be a medium. Maybe not everyone agrees with it. I've heard some people say something like, if you are a medium, you're a psychic, but just because you're psychic, you may not be a medium. That's because everyone's psychic, but they might not have developed their gifts. They might not trust the gift that's already been developed. In closing, I want to let you know the stronger you get and the more spiritual you get, the stronger your ego is going to get and will yell louder, no, you're dumb. So no, if your ego is yelling back at you, you're doing great. Just keep on that wonderful path and enjoy yourself because it's a natural gift that you are born with. I hope that made sense. Channeling is connecting with higher beings of light that never have been on the earth plane in my experience. Mediumship is connecting to those who have been embodied as a human. And and then psychic is a natural sense of intuition that we all have. So I hope that helped. And it's really fun being with you. Thank you. Wendy, all yours.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I'm nodding because it makes sense to me with the experiences that I've had as well. And I would say, yes, channeling, it's a broader sense. And if you think about like the spiritual plane or the fifth dimension or something, having that light embodiment, as you were saying, that where it's just kind of pure energy, right? There isn't physical. I feel like with what I think of as the spiritual plane, it's kind of its own kind of separate place. And when I connect with that space, for me personally, like if I'm doing a reading for someone, it's almost like I'm in both places simultaneously, and they kind of overlap with each other in the space that I'm occupying. So I'm able to be here in the simultaneously in that spiritual realm, which is why it's easier for me to kind of see and hear and talk. And even within that spiritual realm, that place that I am in is kind of its own little space. Like it's almost like a special kind of meeting place. It almost feels like a room, but with no walls, if that kind of makes sense. But I know that there's more beyond that space, right? And there's just kind of levels, because it's levels of where those energies are comfortable, or where, you know, they're wanting to kind of spend their time. But there's this expansion of where that energy is available to go. And I'm not sure how to really put it into words if you haven't experienced it. But if you have, I think you're going to be kind of nodding your head and going, because I feel like even with, like, I can feel the akash there, like beyond that kind of wall of that spiritual realm where I'm having kind of that meeting place. Like I can feel it right, like on the other side. So it's like, so you realize that it's like, there's this, like I said, this expansion and this accessibility that is there. So I feel like when you're channeling, you're doing it far more in that broader sense, where you're able to channel with, you know, other energies that can be anywhere really in the universe, or in that kind of realm, right? And when you are doing mediumship, it's far more specific, and it's interesting because I feel like there is a time of transition for spirit, soul, what have you. So after kind of traversing the veil, right, and going to the spiritual realm, I feel like there are a lot of souls that they need some time to kind of transition, and to be able to look at where they came from and where they're going. And time works differently. So it's not like they have a limited amount of time. They can just kind of be there until they're ready to move on to what they want to do next. So, and that's why I feel like sometimes too, if I try to reach out, if someone's asking to connect with a certain energy, sometimes it isn't available because they have decided to move forward, you know? And also in some ways, they're still really new. So they're still kind of figuring out how it works for them. And sometimes the consciousness can be very connected still to the three-dimensional world. And so they'll still, I don't know, there's some features and things, but it can get really convoluted there as well. Sorry. I don't know, because I do feel like we all kind of channel too. I mean, in certain ways, especially when you're using different tools like tarot or the oracle or runes or different things, because these are messages that are coming through you, right? And so being a channel or channeling, it's allowing those messages to come through you. And so that can, you know, who or what energies you're connecting with can greatly vary depending on, you know, the person. So yeah, I don't know. Was that really confusing for people?
Can I respond?
Sorry. Yeah, please.
That made so much sense to me. And you're right. If you haven't had the experience, sometimes it's hard to describe. It's like, how do you tell a blind man what red looks like? It's like,
Right.
oh. But it's normally a beautiful experience in here. It's very loving, very blissful. You can feel more of the oneness of all that is. And I often, maybe like you, Wendy, I'll fall in love with whoever I'm channeling for, because we kind of cocoon our energy and our hearts open up, and it's lovely. The feeling of channeling is even, it exceeds the message, I think, because non-verbally love is given and received, and that's what it's all about. And have you found this to be true? Some people are easier to do mediumship for, those people in heaven. And like you said, some people haven't gone all the way over. I kind of see them as if they're in a hospital or in recovery. And then some gone on to heaven, and some far heaven, and some zoom. Let's get with the spiritual program, and they're off and running.
Well, and I've had some too where, in their life here, it's like they were so fearful or so just very not open to the idea. And so it's like they kind of their energy gets pulled in, and they're like, oh, well, why am I here? And like, oh, I don't want to talk, and I don't understand this. I've even had where it's like they're turned around and they won't face me because they don't want to talk. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay, well, but then there's others where it's like, it's just so easy, and I just adore them. And yes, it's like every experience, I cherish it and I love it. And I feel like I get to have this little insight into even the person that I'm reading for, into their life, their stories, their soul, all this love that surrounds them. Because even, for those who have passed, it's like they're still around, they're still involved, they're still aware, and I love being able to, to be able to, and really, and mediumship is in its own way a type of channeling as well, like you said, because they're getting their messages to that person just through me,
Right.
And one thing, especially when I was just starting to do it, and I've gotten a lot better, but I still find myself doing it every once in a while, is I'll sometimes like edit or hold back, or, you know what I mean? And I've been really, really working on not doing that, and just not having that filter, and just letting the messages come through as they come through. Because, when you start to edit and things, then I know this, I stumbled with this too in the very beginning, just because then I would doubt, it's like, well, is that message just, is it something I created in my own mind, or is that actually the message that's coming through? And when I realized that, it's like I needed to trust and not question, and just let the messages flow through, it became so much easier. And I knew, like, no, this is just this, I'm hearing it or seeing it or whatever it is, because like you said, it goes through like all of the clairs, if you're open to it. And so I just knew, whatever it is, whether I understood it or not, it didn't matter, because it just needed to come through, and it needed to come through for, the person I was reading for. So then it just kind of expanded more, and it's just an amazing and lovely experience. And I cherish everyone. Yeah.
We're very honored and holy to get to do that. It's holy, and we're honored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it feels so good. I mean, talk about filling your cup,
Have you ever done this? I wonder if it's cheating. If I cannot reach the person in heaven, I'll ask someone like Archangel Michael, can you reach them? And then he will be a go-between and bring the message through for them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had it more so where guides they'll kind of show up for me, and I'm like, oh, thank you. So thank you for showing up, because especially if I have a lot of energies coming through, that can be very, very helpful. Yeah, to have a guide. And I think that's, again, one of those things where it's like sometimes you just don't think about it. Like, okay, generationally, like whenever I'm thinking about something, I forget that I can just look it up on Google, because I didn't grow up with the internet or anything, and my kids will be just like, well, why don't you just look it up? And that's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And doing this, opening up to your gifts and stuff, sometimes you forget there are things you can do. Like you can just simply, you can ask for a guide, ask for help, ask, the questions that you want. And so then the more that you actually do that and you become comfortable with it, it really opens things up and it makes it so much easier. And then you think, why didn't I just do that from the beginning?
Right.
I
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been fun sharing this moment with you, Wendy.
Yes, you as well. Thank you.
Do you feel pretty complete with your sharing?
I think I do. Did anybody else want to say anything about their experiences?
I'll just add, Wendy's pulled through my mother many times, and she's quite the big personality, which is hilarious. But you mentioned the Akash, and I connect in a similar way. So the Akash is really about the soul's blueprint through many incarnations and lifetimes. And I read in the Akash and get channeled messages from a group called the Wisdom Keepers, and they will pull through certain lifetimes that you may have asked about, where you're trying to look at patterns or traumas or things that you're trying to address in this lifetime to make you the best and highest version of who you came to be. And sometimes I will see ancestors, sometimes I will see relatives who have passed on the other side who come through with messages. Sometimes the archangels will show up. So it really just depends on, how the message needs to be received. And sometimes I won't know who they are until they say who they are. And sometimes I'll get messages, Wendy, like you said, or Betsy, through Archangel Michael or Metatron. And it's a fascinating experience, but it's a really big honor to be able to help people figure out why they came here to be here in this moment, in this lifetime. And it's a fascinating journey. It's filled with a lot of twists and turns. But again, the soul's journey is one that teaches us how to be the best of who we came to be in this lifetime. And it's really quite special. So it's a different twist on it. But again, it's all interrelated.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
This
was fun. I'm glad we shared about this. I think that I get a sense that it was helpful for some people and helpful for me as well.
Good.
Well, thank you, everyone. So if you've got any experiences, I think, Girl Gone, you talked about a meditation you had today. And yes, you probably are describing something very, very similar. And many of you probably had some similar experiences. And what we'd like to do is we want to pull a card each for the collective, and then we'll start with individual pulls. But with the beautiful job that Ruby did tonight around talking about the shift in Neptune going direct today in Pisces at 29 degrees, there are a lot of things happening that are awakening us and things that are becoming much more clear. So the question that we want to ask tonight is, what is becoming clear to all of us as we are in our spiritual journey and awakening and expansion? And is there a specific message that is wanting to come through? So I'm going to lead us off. And I pulled from the All-Seeing Heart. And I actually bought this deck with Shirley in London. And Shirley, thanks for joining us tonight. We were in a spiritual bookstore and I was geeking out on decks, and I totally missed what was happening. I just wanted to buy tarot and oracle decks. But I pulled a card called The Storm. And this is about refuge, stillness, and acceptance. And so as we are becoming more discerning and learning the truth of our power, part of understanding a storm coming is to know when to find shelter. So oftentimes in the past, we may have been caught off guard by things that happened around us or to us that we couldn't anticipate or get ahead of. And so what it's saying now is, it says this card relates to turbulence or the coming of a storm and learning to be the still point within. No matter what might threaten your equilibrium, don't get caught up in it. or propagate the drama. And so this is around understanding that there may be some storms around us right now, but our job is to find the center of that hurricane or the center of the storm and to remain steadfast in our beliefs, stand fast in our journey, steadfast in our knowingness of who we are. So it's a beautiful message that as we gain clarity of this shift of Neptune in Pisces moving to Aries, we are getting much more clarity of, okay, we see this storm coming. We know it's here. And how do I make sure that I stay in the center of it versus being whipsawed on the outer edges of it? And that is our superpower that we can develop. Be grounded like the tree. Stand steadfast and don't let anyone's drama or anyone's shenanigans take you off course of what you feel is your path and your journey. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Morgan.
Thanks so much, Cherie. Okay, so for the what's becoming clear in our spiritual journey, I pulled from the Path of the Soul Destiny cards. This is the Intuitive Fractal Art deck. And the card that came up was the 16 card, which is a number 7, which is like a very lucky, it's like a very spiritual number. And as you can see, this is such a lovely card. And so right away I was like, wow. In the meditation, we heard Ruby talking about the Neptune and Pisces, kind of like that blue energy, which, goes very nicely with this card. And then also I'm picking up a lot of Reiki energy. So we've been hearing, people talking about Reiki tonight as well. So this says healing with intention. When this card appears, it is because you have been asking for assistance. Divine healing energy travels in spirals, and that is what this card represents. Are you a healer who is questioning your abilities? Then this card is here to tell you that you are a gifted healer and you are on the right path. Set your intentions to understand and use your gifts to their fullest capacity. Trust this gift you have been given. If you have health concerns, be assured the healing process has begun. Set your intentions clearly on allowing your receive the healing you seek. The energy of health and restoration surrounds you. Trust the process. And just as I was finishing reading, they also said, talk about the Wheel of Fortune, like the Jupiter energy. So I feel like as well, like this isn't a spiral of confusion. It's like healing. It's starting to really process. And there's some sort of like Wheel of Fortune energy coming in as well. So you're going to start becoming really clear about what your healing capabilities are and just trust that. So I hope that helps. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Ron.
Well, thank you, Morgan. That was really good. I pulled a rune tonight to answer the question. And as you all know, I used the Book of Runes by Ralph Bloom for reference. And the rune that I pulled tonight was signals. So again, this goes right along with everything else that's going as far as what do we need to be knowing moving forward. And so the signals rune is a keynote. All right, it's messages and signals and gifts. Even a timely warning may be seen as a gift. The message may be of a new life unfolding. New lives begin with connections, surprising linkages, and direct you into new pathways. The message is always a call to a new life. Drawing this rune tells you that the connection with the divine is at hand. It is a signal to explore the depths and foundations of life and to experience the inexhaustible wellspring of the divine in your nature. And as you know, I strongly support oneness and that you are all divine source. And so be aware as you're moving through that, know what's happening with you and the people you're interacting with. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to, don't tell me, Wendy.
Yes, very good. Okay. So I pulled from the Alice the Wonderland Oracle. Okay. And I got the "You are rare and free. There are not many like you." It's a 38 card, which goes down to an 11. So, looking towards your future and where you are going, right? We have, sometimes people will struggle to understand you. And when they have this trouble, they may well try to fit you into one box or another that they are already familiar with. When you are not clearly one thing or the other, when you are a trailblazer, a rebel, and a free spirit, you are likely to meet with disapproval. And this is what happens to Alice when the flowers, who know just who they are, cannot classify her. They assume she is just a rather wild flower who would much rather be like them. You too are something of a rare wildflower. You are a nature child. You are free, you are adventurous, and you just won't behave in ways that others think are right. You may wish to live outside the rules and conventions of society and culture. You are inspired by being your own self and exploring your potential. You are unconventional, surprising, different, and people recognize this. Some will say you are wrong to be free or downplay you as a weed, but with the other flowers, or which the other flowers do to Alice, but others, like the sweet bud, like us, will love you. Embrace your own rare qualities. Don't try to fit in. You'll be so frustrated and always quietly unhappy. Be brave. By being your own wildflowery self, you'll inspire others, especially those who are younger, to be utterly themselves too. And remember, it's never too late to be a wildflower. So really just reminding everybody to, embrace your gifts, embrace this awakening, embrace who you are. Don't be afraid to really own it, own your space, and become, right? Be here, be present, be on your mission, what you have been wanting to do, what you've been called to do. It doesn't matter if other people look at you and think it's strange or weird. There are others like us. You have a place, you have a tribe. Let your flag fly. Okay. So embrace it. You're meant to. I think this is definitely one of those things that is that moment of clarity of realizing, yes, I am supposed to be doing this. This is who I am. So really take that to heart, please. Don't be afraid. Let go of that fear. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Ruby.
Yes, that message is that card describes me to a T. Also, the reading that I have coming out for Friday is all about not being held back by your past. And so I think that ties in with that card too, not letting your past define you, because that's not who you are today. And so when those other people are judging you or putting you into that category, just remember that who you are becoming is the most important thing, not who you were in high school or whatever these people want to do here. So I got the Bloom card. Let's see if I can. And it's with the Rose Oracle. So this is all about harvesting. Okay. So this says creations realize the right time, harvest, and celebration. So this card is all about reaping the reward for what you have created. Dreams manifested into matter. It's a confirmation that you're currently in the bloom phase of your cycle of growth, or that you're about to be. The bloom is when we're at our fullest. The sun is shining, things are bountiful, and we're at our most expansive. The deep roots of our dreams have been realized. We are blooming. We've made it to where we long to be. We're likely visible and out in the world. Life is often adventurous, energetic, positive, and good. This card comes with a message to embrace and enjoy this moment. Celebrate what you've created. Enjoy what has come to you. Revel in it. Bask in the beauty. Drink in the nectar. Be nourished by the sweet scent of what's now in the physical. Enjoy the harvest. Stop and smell the roses in your life. Life is cyclical, and the bloom won't be at its fullest forever. Your work through the seasons of your life has brought you to this point. Don't take the bloom for granted. Enjoy it while it's here, but don't hold on to it for too long either. Let it be what it is in its fullest. And when the time comes to return the petals to the earth, you'll know when that is. Do that too. So it's about letting it happen and resisting the urge to hold back. And so I was really seeing that what Morgan had with her card, where every time we're repeating a cycle with people or situations in our lives, it's all about soul expansion. So you feel like you might be going in circles, but the reality is we're going up. Every time we're circling like that circular point. And so for some of us, like I was saying, don't be defined by your past. Look behind you now. We're all going upwards as we learn these lessons and as we deal with these people. But I think what this card is saying is that right now, it's time to look behind us and see all that we have accomplished and how much we have grown on our own spiritual path, our own spiritual journeys, and even back to the people that we were in the past, and having some sort of celebration to that, and acknowledging how far you've come, which I think is really beautiful. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the beautiful Betsy.
Thank you, Ruby. I love that no matter what happens, we're spiraling up. Thank you. That was beautiful. So we're talking, either pulling a card, a rune, or channeling on what's becoming clear in our spiritual journey. I'm going to do a channeling on that because I'm unsure what's becoming clear for me. I was sharing with the group before we got on here, I'm in a spiritual storm. And so let's see, are you in a spiritual storm? What's going on? Are you clear? Let's hear from the divine I am. Now the divine will come through Orion, Archangel Michael. Let's see who has something to say. I'm just going to relax myself, tune into my heart. You can join with me. Relax, take a few nice relaxing breaths. Dear divine beings of light, please know indeed that we are with you, and we are a large body of light. We are all around you, with you, in you, through you, and of you, as you are in and of us. We want you to know that it is consciousness. You are becoming more aware that consciousness is everything. You have a consciousness, a subconscious, and a superconscious. You are connecting more in your relationship and therefore your identity with your superconsciousness. In the earth plane, there is that which is conscious, the mind knows, the subconscious, which is a greater reality that the heart is connected to and has a higher, faster frequency, and thus what you are not consciously aware of is creating more from the subconscious, and yet the super consciousness is that which is with the divine I am. What you are becoming more clear of, every single one of you, is that you are now identifying who you really are with your super consciousness. And this is so good, for as you do this, that which is not will just go by the wayside. You are blending heaven and earth. You are not identifying so much, I'm only human, I'm a physical body, but you are recognizing that you are the light. And as you recognize that, all the gifts, of course, will come in, but you won't be attached to them. What you will be attached to is just being, and that will be enough. And so it is. We love you. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, everybody. That was good, huh? We got a pat on the back. And now I'm going to send this back to Cherie.
All right. So we're going to start the individual card pulls. And so we're going to talk about what is Spirit's message for you. So Carol, I was drawn to you tonight, and I pulled from the Voice of the Souls deck. And this is just such a beautiful deck. And your message tonight is such a beautiful message. It's called A Message of Freedom. And you see the card, and it's got two hands kind of over one another, and it's got the crescent moon above, And the importance of this message for you, Carol, and thank you for being here. I don't think I've read for you before, so I was really drawn to you. It says the card is here to help you to connect to your psychic abilities, exactly what we've been talking about tonight. Take a moment to visualize the card, okay? And you are invited to receive a message of freedom from your soul, your spirit guides. Write down what you feel. Look at the card for as long as you need, okay? You were invited to see a message on your own beyond the card's description. Be confident in the message. So, Carol, there's something around you're being freed from something of the past, and it may have been an old relationship. It might have been an old story that was told to you as a young child. But I just see like the visual image I'm getting is that you had these chains and you just like whoosh broke free of them, and you're like Marge in charge. You're taking no prisoners and you're just going for it. So if you were feeling this need to break free and to say, I'm not going to be constrained from the past. I am who I am. I love who I am. And I'm coming into my own. Feed that soul that's telling you, oh, you're getting a divorce. Okay. I've been through one of those. But this is like, girl, stand in your power, own your awesomeness, trust your intuitiveness, and you're not going to stay where you were. Don't believe that old story, and open up and say, I am willing, or I open myself up to my great spiritual gifts. And so we love that you're here, and we support you with what you're going through. And I will hand it next. I think it's to Morgan.
Thanks, Suri. That was so lovely. Okay, so I'm going to do a reading for Red Ribbons, and then Ron is after me, and he has Penny Hanshaw. Okay, so for Red Ribbons, this is the Daily Crystal Inspiration. And, oh my golly. Okay, anyway, so the card that came out was, I'm hoping you can see that. There we go. Okay, it's called, and these are crystals, and it's called Epidote. So it's Epidote. All right. And when I looked at the card intuitively, I saw pyrite. They gave me more crystals. So pyrite is all about attracting in abundance. And then they also said moldavite. And so they said that you're a very rare treasure. And so what's going on here with this card is it says go deeper. So there's some layers that are you're really in this processing of healing something. So it says you're ready to heal on a deeper level. Peel back the layers around your heart by letting your guard down and opening yourself up to being vulnerable. Begin to address any emotional wounds so that you can repair your heart and renew your spirit. Leaving your heart and renew your spirit, leaving you open to pursuing healthier relationships. You're strong enough to shatter all the barriers that have been holding you back from forming deeper connections with the people in your life. It takes bravery to dive deep, but once you do, you can unlock a more meaningful existence. And then I just wanted to quickly look at, so this stone, it supports grounding. It's very grounding through emotional shifts. It's cultivating patience and compassion, and you get heightened intuition and clear insights. And then it says here, there's an affirmation. I open my heart to loving connections. Today, take the time to have a deeper conversation with someone. So you're really shifting, and it looks like you're well on your way to healing and really clearing some things out. So with that, I am going to pass it on to Ron.
Well, thank you, Morgan. We're getting some really deep readings tonight. I'm reading for Penny, and Penny, I pulled a rune that's called Initiation, or a Secret Matter. And again, a deep rune in my mind. It's a mystery rune pointing to that which is beyond our frail manipulative powers. Perth, which is the name of this rune, is on the side of the heaven, the unknowable, and has associations with the phoenix, that mystical bird which consumes itself in the fire and then rises on its own ashes, from its own ashes. Its ways are secret and hidden. Powerful forces of change are at work, and yet what is achieved is not easily or readily shared. After all, becoming whole, the means of it is a profound secret. On the side of the earthly or mundane, there may well be surprises, gains, or rewards that you did not anticipate. On the side of human nature, this rune is symbolized by the flight of the eagle. Soaring flight, free from entanglement, lifting yourself above the endless ebb and flow of the ordinary life to acquire broader vision. All this is indicated here. Another of the cycle runes, this rune stands at the heart of initiation, and in italics it says, nothing external matters here except as it shows you its inner reflection. This rune is concerned with the deepest stratum of our being, the bedrock on which our destiny is founded. For some, this rune means experiencing a death. If need be, let go of everything. No exceptions, no exclusions. Nothing less than renewal of spirit, capital S, is at stake. So again, this falls right in line with everybody letting go, changing, adjusting, and accepting. And with that, I pass it on to Wendy.
All right. Yeah. I pulled a card for Willow, and I pulled from Oracle of the Fairies. And so this message is for you, but I also get a feeling it's one of those where it's kind of for everybody. Okay. Because what I got is inner child. The fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. So George Bernard Shaw said, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And there's so much wisdom and truth in this quote. All fairies love to have fun and play. And much like the Find Balance card, this message comes as an order for you to make time to play, especially if you feel you don't generally get a chance. Playing keeps us young at heart and helps us to connect directly to our inner child. And what a perfect time of year, right? With holidays and everything, to be able to tap into that energy and be playful, right? It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind of mundane chores and routines. This is okay as long as things are balanced. But when you set aside time, some space for joyful activities, you'll find yourself even more energized for the work you need to do. You may even discover that your work now fills you with joy. Imagine that. Fairies are experts at playing, so you could ask them to help you loosen up and have some fun by saying, fairies, show me how to play and to fill with joy this very day. Playtime will give you renewed vitality and add a spring to your step. So put on your coat, and if it's safe to do so, go and play right now. So, I've been telling people too, I've been getting this message as well. And that, allow yourself to have some whimsy. Be playful, have fun. Not only does it keep you young, but yes, it fuels you, it fills your cup, and it does energize you. And, finding the things that you love, whether it is opening yourself up to more of your gifts and things, just as we were talking about, when we channel, when we do these things, it fills you with so much love and joy, and you do feel that kind of connectedness to the magic, right? And that's one thing I always loved about this time of year and everything, was the magic. And I know especially when my kids were little, I really wanted to create that magic for them, and now that they've gotten older, we still want to create that magic, you know? So taking the time to really be playful and fun, also just part of that self-care that we're always talking about too, right? Taking care of yourself, nurturing that inner child, loving yourself, and getting right to that core. And again, coming down to that love, playfulness, joy, it's all combined together. So what a great message. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Ruby.
Okay, so I got almost the same message in my card, which has also a female on it with a pink dress, just like Wendy's card, although hers was with a little girl on here, and this looks more like an adult. Same puffy shoulders and everything. And this message is called The Rose Without Thorns. So this is going to be for Michelle. All right. So you have a right to your joy, peace, and sweetness of life. Most roses have thorns that protect the plant. When you walk past, it's so easy to get caught on their spiky stems, as if the thorns themselves are an initiation for the observer to get the breathtaking beauty and scent of the queen of all flowers in full bloom. However, there are a small number of roses that are unlike most, possessing few or no thorns, and that's what this card is all about. The rose without thorns is an invitation to dive straight into the sweetness of life, to rest into the softness, to enjoy the delicious fragrance, to rest in and relish what it means to be currently alive in this body, to embrace all the beauty and bliss that life has to offer. You have a right to your joy, and the rose without thorns wants you to take every ounce of it in right now, to celebrate and lose yourself in the sweetness of your life. This is a rare moment in time of deep peace and enjoyment. You're being called to taste all that it has to offer, to drink it all in. You deserve every drop. You've worked for this moment. Embrace it now with open arms. It's safe for you to enjoy this, to welcome this, to embody all of this. And while life is ever changing and forever inviting us to grow, right now your lesson is to be in the delight of it all. So again, it's about being in the moment, looking at what you've done, and to celebrate what's happening right now in the here and now, and to not needing to cover your heart quite so much. For you also, Michelle, I got a specific message that this is also related to a masculine energy. It could be a father, or you also taking on the masculine side of yourself. So the masculine is about taking action in some way. So it could be in relation to this for you, to drink it all in and to take what life has to offer for you, taking control over your own decisions and protection and support of yourself and having faith in that. Or it could be about a specific person. So I'm not sure which one that is, but they wanted me to add that in for you. So I hope that resonates. And with that, I will turn it back over to Betsy.
Hi there. I know that we're running out of time, but I'm very glad I get to share with, is it Shar or Share, S-H-A-R? I understand it's your birthday. That was not channeled. It just was shared with me. What I'm seeing, interestingly enough, is that this is the beginning of your new year, your birthday. It's going to be a much better year for you than last year. I wanted to make sure to get that to you. Spirit is also saying the little boy is going to be okay. Don't know if it's a son or a nephew or a grandson, but he's going to be okay. And they want you to know that the suffering that you had is getting washed off. Oh, here we go. What a great treat to have you all. Thank you. And it's a great treat to have you with us. So I just want you to know, basically, you're coming out of it. Keep yourself cleansed. You're a little bit more of an empath than you may realize. You might want to consider cleansing every day. There are many ways to cleanse. Stay tuned to us and we can go over that. Or, of course, Google is great, but do a safe cleanse with someone you trust. And do that on a regular basis. The best is yet to come. Happy birthday. And I turn this over to Cherie.
All right. And if we can get full screen of everyone. Wow, beautiful messages tonight. And thanks to everyone. We couldn't get to everyone, this evening for individual pulls, but what beautiful messages came through. And Betsy and Wendy, thank you for leading the conversation around our intuitiveness and psychic abilities and channeling, and Ruby for the clearing. Amazing energy and a lot of similarities in the messages. We are one community and we stand tall with you as the lighthouse. And so we are all lighthouses in our own way. So with that, we will let you go this evening and continue to watch our content every day. We've got some really interesting videos coming out. And again, we so much appreciate your support, your love, and we send it back to you. With that, we'll let you go this evening. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.